Hi, everybody. Welcome to ESC Fan TV. Hope you're doing really well. What a night. Destination Eurovision, first semi-final. 4 songs qualify from the 9 songs played out over 3 hours. So much so that I've got through half a bottle of wine and I'm still going. Very, very exciting evening. We have a great lineup of guests for you this evening. Who's on? We have, as always, we have Joanne Powell.
Hi.
We have from the Let Me Be the One blog and radio show, we have Martin Palmer.
Hello.
We have the Tom Hughes.
Hello.
We have Tristan.
Bonsoir.
Bonsoir, Tristan. And we have Ness.
Hello.
We have returning to us after a few shows absent. We have Nicholas all the way from Denmark.
Hello.
And all the way from France, from Bordeaux, we have Kevin. Hi, Kevin.
Bonsoir.
Bonsoir. So, what a show. What a show. 9 great songs, 4 qualify. Did the right 4 qualify? Let's going to get straight into the action. Before we do, just to say thanks to those that are in the chat room, those that are watching live. If you're watching this on catch up, you can watch on YouTube. You can also download our podcast, which you can now find on iTunes, Spotify, TuneIn, and Stitcher. We'll also be on others coming shortly. Don't forget to press the like button. Please subscribe. It's really important. And you will find us on Instagram, Facebook, and Twitter. And I'm sure other social media thingies once we get our heads around it. But that's enough for now. Anyway, let's talk about the 9 songs and what we thought of them. So we're going to start with the first song of the evening by Maestro. It's La Brasière. So I'm going to bring in Ness. Ness, what do you think of that song? And how do you think it's...
Oh, I really liked that song. Yeah. It's a lovely, strong ballad, wasn't it? It built and it had a crescendo and I liked it. Yeah. And I quite liked the staging of it. I thought it was quite simple. And yeah, really liked it.
He was in a full blue suit, wasn't he?
Yes.
Smoke everywhere.
Got a bit of hair gel on as well, I think.
He had, yeah, absolutely. He got hair for it, which, you know, when you're a certain age, like some of us are, and you've got hair. Luckily, I have. Some haven't. You know, you can actually stick it back. You know, you can't complain. So, yeah. Did anyone actually think that maybe he might have been on fire during the performance? I had to do a double take.
Yeah, I didn't know what his backing singers were doing. They were doing some weird stuff with their hands, weren't they? That seemed a bit, pointless. But
yeah. And Tom, what was your thoughts on La Brasière?
I thought it was a really solid performance. I actually thought it was quite emotional, actually, the way he delivered the song as well. The crowd seemed to really like him, and I thought the background worked quite nicely with the fire and everything as well. It was one of those songs that was just a really good, solid opener, solid performance. I quite enjoyed it.
Should it have done better?
No, unfortunately. I think when you hold it up to all the others, okay, he didn't deserve to come last. Didn't deserve to come solid last. However, did it deserve to qualify? Not really.
I mean, I guess somebody's got to come last, haven't they? Ness, did you think that was a worthy last place?
No, I thought that that other singer should have come last. Who couldn't sing?
I guess we'll come to that in a minute. Can't think who you might be thinking of. Okay, let's talk about song 2. Song 2 was Florina. Florina with In the Shadow, one of the favourites coming into the contest. She's a handsome woman, that Florina, I have to say. It's a shame she was on second and didn't qualify, because I would have liked to have seen her again at the final. Plus, it was a really good song. She was a vision all in black. Again, smoke seems to be a big thing in this French semi-final. Kevin, what do you think of Florina?
Talking about last places, to me it was the disappointment of the night. Those high notes didn't really work well for her. Though the staging was very good, but I think she put too much pressure on her and she lost it. Not in a good way.
Did you kind of expect the result once you saw the performance?
Yeah, I expected her to be in the bottom as soon as she hit the chorus with that high note that I found not very pleasant to hear.
Yeah, Martin, you were really championing this song online and also on our last show. Were you a little surprised by what played out?
Yeah, I mean, she seemed really nervous all the way through, and I think that we got the result of that she basically didn't cope well. The first verse in French seemed to be, I was thinking, oh, it was a bit off, and then the English chorus was just totally fell apart. And yeah, I mean, we've had it before where you've got a great studio version of a song, and then for whatever reason the singer doesn't perform. So I must admit I was surprised that she got as many televote points as she actually did. It's obvious in the studio they weren't hearing what we were hearing, because all the judges seemed to be still loving what she was doing, and you just think you obviously couldn't hear it. And at UK National Finals we've had the same thing where we've been at the venue and it sounds okay, and then people watching on telly say they were rubbish. And unfortunately, her voice just fell apart. So I'm not surprised she didn't make it, which is a real shame. But it still means I'll be able to play it on Spotify playlist, because I won't have to think about the national final performance.
We're going to hear a lot of that song, I think, over the next few months, aren't we? Even though it hasn't qualified, it's definitely a banger. And do we think that, I mean, maybe she'd sung in tune, this might have qualified?
Yeah, I'm pretty certain it would have done. I think she was getting as much, maybe not quite as much response as Bilal from the audience, but near enough. So I think a lot of people wanted her to go through. I was watching the Facebook thread as it was going along, and most people were sort of thinking she would have gone through before she started singing. But yeah, there you go. I mean, if you can't sing live, you can't really expect. She might have been lucky to scrape into the fourth place and have another go. But I got the feeling that was probably as good as it was going to get.
And just to pause there, we've got a couple of comments in the chat room already. We've got Karen's from Latvia. Karen says that Florina sadly flopped, and Michelle's commented that she really wasn't a fan of this semi-final. I won't comment entirely what she's written. Some of it's probably not.
Oh no.
Song three, chimenebadi with Lahore. She was in a purple starry box. Really great vocal. Didn't do too well with the international jury, but the televote really pulled her back. Martin, what was your thought on chimenebadi?
Yeah, I thought it was a pretty solid performance again. I didn't expect anything different, so I think she sang it really well. The box effect was nice, but all it reminded me of was Christabel from Lisbon this year, in a sort of bizarre way, the cube. Probably not much she could really do performance-wise. She emotes it really well, so I think it was a deserved finalist. I'm not sure, but isn't she quite a big singer in France? Isn't she well known? So I expect that's probably why she got a big televote.
I'll bring Kevin in quickly on this one. She's quite popular in France, isn't she?
Yeah, she flopped actually 3 years ago with her album, and this song is her renewal in her career. So she was very well known before, and people seem to like it. So.
And Joanne, were you pleased to see chimenebadi qualify in the end there?
Yeah, I certainly was. I agree with Martin. The box didn't work. I hope she changes it. But the song has got, and it's an earworm, and I went even at the break, and, I can just keep hearing it in my head, even now I can hear it in my head. So, and I think that's probably why she did really well with the televotes as well, because it's a catchy song and she's well known. I hope the jury buy it on Saturday. In fact, is it going to be jury on Saturday? And for the final, I'm not sure, but yeah. Hopefully hopefully she'll do really well. But she's not going to overhaul Bilal, unfortunately, I don't think. But glad she's got through.
So song 4 was Passio by Batista, the singer, not the wrestler. We've established that there. She was in a beautiful white dress on a white stage. I must ask this: is white the new black in France? Is that a thing? There's a lot of white dresses tonight, but she was a really beautiful dark-haired lady, beautiful white dress, 4 naked do-wallopers, as the late great Terry Wogan would say. What do we make of this song, Kevin?
A lot of black and white tonight, yes. But the staging was very good for her, very well thought. But her vocals were too much covered by the backing vocalists, and even when the backing vocalists, with the back vocalists, she couldn't even sing at all. So yeah, it was a big disappointment to me also.
I thought this was one of the big ones going in. I thought this might surprise a few, but sadly didn't qualify. Tristan, were you surprised?
I was really surprised. I mean, I don't really like her voice very much, but I thought that the song would have definitely got her through, especially her. It's just she was just it was just awful. Her voice was really disappointing. It was quite weedy, and I think the judges were going on afterwards, comparing her to a mermaid or a siren, sort of luring people onto the rocks, which is I mean, unfortunately, it looked like it really did. Was a shipwreck in the end. I mean, it was just such a shame, because it was actually a really fun mise en scène with those guys, and they could have done so much more with it. But in the end, her voice just was not good enough. I just don't think that Corsican singing gels well with the chill out, ethereal, enigma style song that they were trying to do. They don't match. So
Amari remains supreme, right? Will continue to be the only Corsican singer in representing France. Did anyone else get the sort of Ivy Adamu feeling about this one? I just sort of saw the same sort of staging, same looking singer as Ivy Adamu. No. Just me. Great. Thanks for that. Moving swiftly on, into the chat room we go. Karen's just made a comment. Another great studio version, but when she sang, she was weak. I think she was sick, so this may have been why she failed to qualify. I don't know whether that's the case. Thanks for that bit of information, Karen. It'd be good to verify that if she was sick or not. Certainly sounded slightly out of tune. Song 5, Le Petit Nicolas, Little Nicky. Sort of a cartoon staging, fun, catchy, bonkers is the words I've written here by Sylvain Areg. Nicholas, what did you make of this one?
So I think this is the most memorable song for me tonight. I think this was really, really fun, and the vocals were decent enough, and I'm really happy that this actually went through, because I really wanted this to go through. I don't think it would do very well at Eurovision, but I don't think it should go to Eurovision either. I just think it's really fun to have in this show, and I'm glad it's there. And I think the staging is it's such a new and unique idea that it really captured me, and I was really having fun during that performance.
It definitely sparked fun. I mean, I'm not sure anyone could have not enjoyed that. Joanne, did you enjoy that performance?
I did, absolutely. My dark horse, my Lisboa Jerusalem of 2019. Yeah, I was hoping and expecting him to do well. I'm really glad he's got through. I agree with Nicholas. I don't think it should go to Eurovision, and I really don't think he will. I still don't think anyone will beat Bilal unless a miracle happens. But still come close. He might get top 3.
Nice segue, Joanne, into Bilal. This is an interesting one, because I kind of felt a little bit mixed on this. I think it's fair to say this is probably the most polished song out of all of them. I mean, it's definitely the favourite. It's written by Madame and Monsieur, and he stood there all in white again. His dress sense was certainly understated. He had an understated look. Tristan, what did you make of Bilal?
I thought, I mean, it was great. It was a very polished performance. He was the most confident by far on stage, and I sort of now realize why he's so high with the bookies. So it's a great song. I think I'm surprised he got the full sweep, all 12 from the international juries, but. I liked it. The problem is, though, his voice is not great. I mean, he is just a YouTube sensation, and you can tell that he's not got the same same polished voice that some of the other people have, like Chimene or Floriana, but it was still it was a good performance, and it was fun to look at, and I'm pretty sure that it's a shoe-in, and will probably end up winning the whole thing.
Do you know? I think I felt like he could go further. I felt like he almost was holding back. I mean, the staging was good. The performance was good. He's got a good voice. He's clearly got a good voice. He's got a great voice, in fact. But it's one of those songs that feels like it could do something more. And I think he could do something more. And I got the impression that that's where the jury's kind of was sitting. And bring Kevin in here. The international, the three juries on the three jurors on stage sort of gave a mixed reaction. Could you tell us a little bit about what they were saying and the background there, please?
Yeah, it was about the vocals, as you say. So they thought exactly the same thing, that he could have been more consistent and more perfect in his presentation. But he's a good singer overall, so I am not worried for the next thing for him.
And Review and React in the chat room has said, televote friendly, Ryan O'Shaughnessy vibe, but unfortunately will not give us that Conchita-versed moment. That's a well-considered point, actually. We should probably break that down. Ryan O'Shaughnessy vibe and Conchita-verse moment. Do you agree with Review and React? Don't forget to send your comments into the chat room. So, Bilal, I mean, we're getting the feeling that this was the standout song. It certainly won by quite some margin. It had 118 points. With chimenebadi was second with 66. So I mean, definitely it's the front runner going into the final right now, isn't it? What about number 7, Isat, Comment un Grande? Tristan, you were a big fan of this song going into it. You must be over the moon in this qualifier.
I am so happy. I love this song. Last night I couldn't sleep. I was just lying in bed and I just had Comment Grande, Comment going on and on in my head. I love this song, and I'm so happy she got through. I knew that the public would vote her badly after her atrocious destruction of ABBA's Dancing Queen, which was just so bad. That was a real shame. But what I mean, I'm just so glad that she just got through through the skin of her teeth, and it's my favourite song of all 18 of the French songs this year. It's fantastic. I mean, she's not got a great voice, but it's a sort of an African style, and that genre. I mean, it's just sort of off key. It's kind of it's part of the style. I absolutely loved it, and I'm going to be hoping that somehow it wins in the final, but I'm sure that it's going to be a shoo-in for Wa.
Do you think that the orange trouser suit works?
I thought everything worked well. Yeah. I loved it. Yeah,
that's a good performance. Tom, what are your thoughts on Isat?
I quite liked it. It was very likable. I tell you what, out of all of the entries tonight, I thought the package was actually probably the most perfect there. In terms of the dance routine, really striking background. You had some fantastic choreography in there. It just seemed to have everything kind of going for it, apart from the version of Dancing Queen she did before she started singing her actual song. And I think that's the one thing that killed her. And hopefully the advice is going to be something along the lines of pick a different song before you do the actual entry next time around.
And so, I mean, that song, it's qualified. It qualified in 4th. It just scraped through. Lautner was dropped into 5th on the last vote of the evening. Moving as a segue into Lautner, now song number 8, Lautner with Je Parle Temps. 2 guys reminding me a bit of a French Joe and Jake from the UK from a few years back, to 2016. Ness, did you get that vibe from Lautner?
I got a vibe that I thought it was the first time they'd ever performed it live. You know, they were clearly very, very nervous. not confident about. It was the little things that annoyed me, like you know, just a stagehand handing him his violin and not really thinking about the choreography. The skating park in the background was completely unnecessary. They probably could have held that performance just between themselves, you know, quite easily. I mean, they're good-looking boys, you know, if you're that age, you know, but their voices just didn't hold up. But I think the song actually is quite a nice song. It's catchy. I think it would do well, but clearly it's not going to. But yeah, the whole staging of it, I just thought it was disconnected and hadn't been well thought out at all. It's like these young people. So what was all this sort of, you know, ducking and diving whilst he's playing the fiddle? You know, just didn't make sense to me. But like the song.
And Martin, tell us a little bit about their performance from your perspective. They finished 5th. Should they have finished 4th and knocked ASAT out, or was it the right result in the end?
I think it was fairly touch and go which one deserved to go through, but also I must say ASAT was the better routine overall. And I think I agree with what's been said before, that because of Dancing Queen, I think for the first minute of her routine, her vocals were still a bit shaky from that. Whereas Lautner, I thought the song itself is sort of a bit of a gentle head nodder, and I did like it. But as Ness said, the actual staging was all over the place, having the people in the background, you know, on a skate park and whatever they were doing just didn't really make any sense. So, you know, and like Joe and Jake, one of them's slightly better singer than the other, really. So,
yeah.
But yeah, I think probably on the big scheme of things, they would have only been filler for the final anyway. So,
and final song of the night, number 9. It took 3 hours to get to here, but we complete with Maisie with Ooh La La. I've still got that going through my head. I'm shocked that didn't do better, I have to say. Ooh La La on a purple cube, that cube theme coming through again, all in white again. White stripe in her hair, white again. There's a lot of white going on in France at the moment. Joanne, did you like Maisie and Ooh La La? And should she have qualified? Surely she should. It was a travesty. She didn't.
Yeah, I have to admit, I got her down as qualifying. I thought her vocals were really good. I thought she looked really nice. You know, quite sort of modern French. You know, a little bit sassy, you know, very much a French song. I liked it, and as I said, I thought her vocals were on point compared to some of the others tonight. Part of me is I'm not surprised it didn't qualify, because it wasn't really that much, you know, talked about. It would have been nice, but a nice way to end the evening.
Oh, I think Martin's got a cough. We're moving on. Tom, complete the evening for us. Maisie, did it do it for you?
I really like this one. I think it was quite original compared to what we'd actually seen, with the whole kind of like banging on the box and everything. A very characteristic French song, although it was always going to be touch and go whether she was going to qualify, wasn't it? I think it was one of those ones where, I mean, that 4th slot, there was probably about 3 songs, I think. I sat Maisie and Lautner, I think, who probably could have filled that slot quite easily for me. And so it was one of those things, I think it was just luck of the draw, I think.
Yeah. I agree. It's a shame, because I really like that. It's one of those songs that kind of grew on me as the week progressed and we got closer to the semi-final. Some comments in the chat room. We have a few new people have joined us. Oriane says, what do we think of was the winner tonight? We'll get to that shortly. Chimene and Sylvan did an amazing job. The ones that she likes. Michelle still commenting that she's not sure whether any of the songs were memorable enough. Review and React has commented that Ooh La La was the crime of the century. Should have qualified, and can we have a wild card and bring her back to the final? Review and React, I'm with you 100%. It's a disaster that she hasn't qualified, in my opinion. What else have we got? We've got a lot of stuff going on. We'll get to that in a minute. It could go on forever. There's lots of activity in the chat room. Thank you for joining us. Thank you for supporting us. Click the like button. Subscribe to our channel. Thank you so much. Really appreciate you being here. Keep the questions coming in. We've got probably another 5-6 minutes or so. Did the right songs qualify? Kevin, come to you.
Yes, for me, aside Le Petit Nicolas from Sylvana Reg, to me, it is a good songs that are qualified. I would have preferred J'ai pas le temps instead of Le Petit Nicolas, but overall, I'm happy with the results.
Joanne, did the right four qualify for you?
Yes and no. I mean, I would have preferred to have taken Isaac out and put Maisie in. And to be honest, I'd have liked Leipner in as well. Don't think I could have fitted them in, but in all fairness, I'm not a fan of Bilal's, if I'm honest. So take that one out and put Leipner in, possibly. So I went with who sang well on the night. That's all. And they didn't sing as well as they should have done.
And Tristan, I mean, you're going to say Isaac, should have been there. Yeah. But did the right four qualify for you?
Almost. I mean, three of my four got through. I personally think Ooh La La should have got through instead of Sylvana Reg, simply because it was just such a good song. I mean, not saying anything bad about Sylvana Reg. That was a good song, but Mazzy was just slightly better than that, I thought. So yeah. But apart from that, and obviously Aqua Viva, that if only she'd done a better performance, that could have got through as well. But on the night, she was just atrocious.
I'm going to come to Ness before she falls asleep, bless her. Hello, Ness.
Hello. I'm going to make it real simple. Nazio should have got through. Labrazia, I thought he was fantastic. And I think he had one of the strongest vocals of the night. Bilal, I'm sorry, he hit one good note. I don't know what's happened to listeners' ears, but I thought he was slightly pitchy a lot of the time through that song. So unless he gets some very strong vocal coaching, if he does get through to the final and represents France, I think he won't stand up in the Eurovision final in Tel Aviv. I just don't think he will do it. He's got to have more stage presence and be stronger on his vocals. And Ooh La La should have got through. So I know it's sounding pretty harsh, but it is 11:30 at night, and we've had 3 hours of lovely French television. And can I just put a plea through for the French TV people? Yeah, it's not necessary for people to do Ed Sheeran covers and ABBA covers. Yeah, if they could just present the song that they're going to sing for Eurovision rather than fill 3 hours of time, that would be most appreciated in future. Just a hint to the producers to cut airtime, really.
But I think on Bilal, I think he is the favourite, and he probably will win. We'll come to that in a minute. We'll give our thoughts on whether we think there's a winner out of these four.
I think why is he the favourite? That's what we've got to ask.
Why is he the favourite?
Playing Conchita Wurst novelty factor.
Okay, here's my thoughts on it.
Song and vocals. And
here's why I think he will win. I think he will win because he has a story. He has two fantastic songwriters that came out of last year's Eurovision with everyone thinking they should have done better. I think 13th for France in 2018 was a total travesty, given the quality of Merci and the two singers. And I watched them run through the tour prior to Eurovision, and I thought they were exemplary, and a real credit to France. And I think the fact that France hasn't been in the top 10 since Amir, I think is a travesty in itself. And I think there's a story there with his own journey as a singer, and connecting with the two songwriters. And I think it will develop as a story between now and Eurovision. I think he has every chance. But that's just my opinion. Tom, disagree with me?
The trouble is, at the moment, I think he tries too hard. The performance, it didn't click for me, but I think it was just trying to be more than it actually was. I think if they actually stripped it back, then what you're saying might actually come to the fore more. But for me, as it stood, it was one of my big disappointments of the night because I wanted it to work. And it just didn't.
I think there's time still. I'm going to move to Nicholas. Nicholas, you're the top four for you.
I think it was an okay top four. I didn't get all my favorites through, but at the same time, I feel like the songs tonight were mediocre, and I don't think any of them can really do a top 10 finish at Eurovision. So for me, I almost felt like it didn't matter in the end, like who got through. And I think when it comes to Bilal, I get why he's the favorite, because he's a character, he's memorable, and he has a story. He has the whole package. He needs to work on his vocals, that's for sure. But we heard in his cover song before his own song that he can sing. There's no doubt that he can sing. He just needs to work more on his own song, and I think he can do okay. But I get why he's the favorite.
But nevertheless, he won't win. The winner is coming from semi-final 2. The winner will be Tracy with Whiskey Cocktails, Rum Rum Rum.
No, it's gonna be the other one, but I can't remember the name of it at the moment.
Question for the panel: have we seen? I mean, we've got four songs that have qualified. Are we expected to see Bilal edge it in 2 weeks' time? Are we sort of expecting better to come from semi-final 2? Kevin, what should we look forward to next Saturday?
Sorry, I didn't hear well the question.
Looking forward to next week's semi-final. Tell us about it. What should we look forward to?
Well, a lot more of quiet songs, to be honest. A lot more of chill songs. Like there is much more ballads, like Simone with Tous les deux, with Emmanuel Moir. It will be a calmer night.
And Joanne, you've heard all 18 songs. Right now, if you had to pick a winner, would it be Bilal?
I wish it wasn't, but yes, I think I actually think he'll win. And I don't want him to, and it sounds really awful, but I don't. I would like to see a different song. I'd like to see him improve and deserve the win, if that makes sense. Because as it stands at the moment, on that performance today, he doesn't deserve to win, but he probably will.
Yeah. And Ness, you've heard the songs. What song right now would you if you had money and £100 and I said go and put that on a winner, who would you put it on?
Whiskey Cocktails, Rum Rum Rum.
Good choice. Tristan, what would be your pick?
I mean, the book, as far as the betting is concerned, I would say would definitely will win it. I don't think it necessarily deserves to win it. I think obviously you know how I feel about ISAT, and also in next week we have Gabriella, Enchercheencore, Never Get Enough, which is a fantastic song. And I think that could give a run for its money. We'll have to see.
And Tom?
I don't think we've heard the winner yet. I think Naomi is the one that I've got my eye on for next week.
La Petite Famille, yes.
Yeah, I have some very, very high hopes for that one.
There's a couple of comments in the chat room. So Orion has said she doesn't want Bilal. I apologise. I have no idea if Orion is as male or female. So I just walked into the worst possible mistake I could make there. I don't want Bilal winning. I want the winner to come from semi-final 2. I hope that Simone or Gabriella will win. So there's 2 that we haven't covered. Michelle's asked, is Martin okay? Is he still alive? I have absolutely no idea.
We're hoping for the best.
Yeah, fingers crossed Martin's alive and can make it to Wednesday's show.
Otherwise, somebody will have to do a show. Let me be the 2.
Last comments from you, Nicholas, and then we're going to close with Kevin. What did you think overall of the show tonight?
I think I liked the show. I think the French podcast is really putting on a great show. They seem to care about Eurovision. They want to build up this national final to be something that the French public is interested in. So they will be more interested in Eurovision. So I think I think it has the potential. It's just a shame that the songs weren't quite there this semi, at least.
Yeah. And Nicholas, out of all the songs in France, out of the 18, is Bilal the most likely winner right now?
I think it is. I'm hoping that there's someone from semi 2 who can come in and just like sweep everyone away. The big like surprise, the big underdog. But I don't think so. I think he's gonna win, and the fans, the people who are excited for this song, they're gonna be happy, and that will be that. And then it will probably flub in Tel Aviv.
And I'm not sure if we've lost Kevin. Kevin, are you there? We've lost Kevin. That's a shame. I was going to close with Kevin. Well, listen, thank you for joining us. We'll see Kevin again next weekend. Don't forget, Wednesday we have our review show. We will be reviewing the Hungarian Adal, the Romanian Selecta Națională, which now has a really big story. Breaking news that Mihai has withdrawn from the selection. Big news. So we'll cover that on Wednesday. And also we'll talk about the 8 Czech Republic entries and why they should send the Lana Del Rey song.
Right.
Come and join us.
Martin is alive, by the way. I've
Martin
just heard
is
from him.
alive.
All is well.
He is
All is
alive.
well.
Join us at 10 p.m. Central European time on Wednesday for that show. And we look forward to seeing you. Thanks for joining. Don't forget to subscribe, like this video. We'll see you Wednesday. Bye for now.
Bye.
Bye.
Bye.